So look like Cardi may have cussed out this chick because she's going to a doctor's visit. The chick probably was saying, I wasn't filming you. It gets a little bit heated. I don't know if it got physical, but this is kind of interesting on both sides because if what Cardi B is saying, I don't know if Cardi B is countersuing, but if Cardi B is saying it's true, if you're filming me, you might be breaking what's called a HIPAA. Like you might be breaking those rules. Like if you disclose or, you know, you're breaching some type of confidentiality with my health, right? Now, I don't know if it's necessarily just filming or did the person have to put it out. Let me see. So I think this is, here we go.
Basically, at this point, I'm going to be giving an opening statement on behalf. Went to her job as.
Okay. So let's hear from the opening what happened. Then we'll go to the person on the stand.
So, basically, the evidence will show that this is a case where Imani Ellis, on February 24th, 2018, at around 7 a.m., went to her job as she usually did, as a security guard. And her job was to protect the building on behalf of the landlord. And she went to her job on that day, and at approximately, the evidence will show that approximately 1:30 p.m., as she was doing her rounds, she was on the 5th floor, and the defendant got off the elevator. And as the defendant got off the elevator, the evidence will show that plaintiff was excited. She was actually a fan of the defendant before this incident occurred. She was a fan of the defendant. And she said, wow, Cardi B is here, or something to that effect. And then the action happened. The evidence will show that Cardi B misunderstood what happened. The plaintiff was simply excited to see her and made that excited utterance. The evidence will show that the plaintiff had an earpiece on her phone, in her ear. And when she was there in the building, Cardi B, again, mistakenly thought that Imani Ellis was telling people that Cardi B was at the building, but that is not the case. Plaintiff will testify that that is absolutely not the case. Now, Miss Ellis at the time was in uniform. She was working for Allied Security. She had a license to be a security guard from 2014 to 2018. The evidence will show that Cardi B spit on the plaintiff, actually spit on her. And that's considered.
Yo, a chick from the Bronx don't even gotta speak, man. You'll just see it on their face. you know, she's like, the fuck? The fuck? That's what that means. The fuck? That's what that means.
According to the law, the evidence will show that it's considered an assault and battery in and of itself. There's some law enforcement people that would actually assault someone back if they got spit on. You can't just go around spitting on people. So the evidence will show that the defendant spit on the plaintiff. And then finally, to make it all worse and make it really bad, Cardi B then, in the attack, cut Imani Ellis's left cheek. She cut it with her fingernail.
What?
Cardi B is left-handed, and somehow she was able to cut the left cheek with her left hand.
Wait, Cardi gave her $150 with her nails? Yo, I ain't gonna lie, chat. There are certain girls. That's why I can't really deal with ratchet chicks too much, because they'll come with some fucking long nails. They look like some shit that Catwoman got, bro. And shit, it's about time to get busy. So I'm like, all right, let's go. You feel me? I whip my junk out, and then she by the grandma. I'm like, It's like Edward Scissorhands about to grab his shit. Like, you about to chop my look. Nah, hell nah. I hate when chicks got all them long ass shit. It gotta be used as a weapon. It gotta be a weapon. This is how these chicks walking out of the nail shop nowadays, man. These chicks walk out of the nail shop like this, chat. They like this, bruh. I don't eat no food from no chick that got nails like this. You can't knead a dumpling. Yo, you can't knead some flour. You can't do that. The hell no. I don't want your acrylic matter in my food. You got all type of this type of stuff. I'm good. You know the ones I'm talking about, right? The pointy nails, like extra pointy. Like what the hell? At least it's good for something with Cardi B. She gave this chick $150. Okay.
Okay. Because of this attack, Imani Ellis went to a Dr. Sher. Dr. Sher is a cosmetic surgeon, or was a cosmetic surgeon.
She got plastic surgery because of $150 from her nails? Yo, she set this finesse up. She set this finesse. Oh, I had to go get plastic surgery. Oh, wow.
The evidence will show that Miss Imani Ellis went to Dr. Sher to find out.
Look at Cardi. Cardi's, you know what Cardi's saying? I should have cut that bitch's throat. Look at Cardi's face.
What can be done to help her with this?
I wonder how much money does she want? Like, respectfully, if Cardi did those things, why not just settle it? Get a bitch like $75,000. Come on, like Cardi, you're again. Everybody got bills, whatever. But Cardi's rolling the dough. Cardi, give her $75,000. You don't have to be sitting in court. And here's the thing. Here's the thing about settling this particular case, especially if you know you did it. And also, it's nothing reputational damage, I think, for Cardi B. You just beat a bitch up. Cool. You don't want to have to, when you sit through this now, Cardi, if you see somebody in public, they're going to antagonize you. Yeah, bitch. Yeah, that's why Nicki the best. Yeah, and what? Do something. You mad loud online. I'm right here. Do something. Cardi gonna have to slap that bitch again too. Everybody gonna line you up for the money because now they realize that they could get you in this situation. You should have settled that quietly. I never even remember this happening. But now this is gonna remind everybody, oh, Cardi's has a hothead. She might get physical with you, and you could probably run up a bag on her ass. It's like Kanye. Kanye never went to court for none of his shit. He used to slap paparazzi all day. Kanye is the king of slapping paparazzi. He used to choke them out, DDT them, and then they'll come back like, yo, I need a $75,000. You give him $100. Justice just like, yo, go away, nigga. Like, leave me alone. Go ahead. But, you know, Ye different.
Cut. And Dr. Sher said we need to wait for at least a year, maybe 2 years, because we want to see if it turns into a scar. You can't just run and do plastic surgery. So it did turn into a scar. And when she weighed, and it was also very costly. She couldn't really afford the surgery. And as we all know, in April of 2020, the pandemic started. So another couple of years were lost because plastic surgery is an elective surgery. So she lived with the scar for another couple of years. And in 2021, Dr. Sher died. He passed away. Evidence will show that. In 2022, Imani
Who
Ellis
keep coughing?
went to a different doctor, Brent Mulliken, who you will hear from. Brent Mulliken is a plastic surgeon.
That's another reason I would say just pay her. Like respectfully, Cardi B taking a week out of her week of her life, going to court every day. You got to get glammed up because you know there's mad cameras. When have we seen camera in a civil court like this? And by the way, where was this? Is this L.A. or is this like New York, New Jersey, or Atlanta, Georgia? Because she has a house here too. You got to pay for security, your lawyers. You're wasting a week of your life just for trial. Yo, Cardi, that's not worth $100,000 to you. Like the way that Cardi told us she makes money or spends money, I should say, didn't she say she got like $600,000 in bills a month? Like $600,000 in bills a month. That's what she told us. Respectfully, Doing that math, 600,000 divided weekly, 4 weeks in a month, that's $125,000 per week just in bills, which means if you have $125,000 in bills, your time in a week got to be worth more than that because you're paying $125,000. So my thing is, if your time is worth, let's say, a 3x multiple, because I would imagine if Cardi's spending 600,000 in bills, she got to be making at least 1.5, right? You got to be making at least 1.5 a month, because that's stupid. If you're spending 600,000, didn't she say that amount? Or am I tripping? Cardi spends a month. How much did she say? Oh, wait, she said 3 million. Oh, my bad. Okay. Now, something's up here. Cardi, if you're spending 3 million a month, that means that's 750,000 a week. Y'all get the point I'm trying to say? If your bills total to 750,000 a week, right? A week. I would imagine, unless you're bad with money, that you're at least making 1.5 million a week. You're getting sued, and you're going to have to be in court, not doing an ad, not doing a commercial, not filming a music video, not doing a show, not being in the studio. You're going to be in court for a week. So your bills are 750,000 for a week, based on the number she gave us. If this woman wanted 150,000, just give her the 150,000, because your week is much more valuable. Granted that, let's say you're a reasonable person and you at least make twice the amount you spend on bills per month, right? So if you're making 1.5 million a week, actually, which would be 6 million a month, which I don't think Cardi's making that, but still, whatever. If you're making that amount, what would it be to you to just pay a chick $100,000? Like, I'm wondering what this chick wants. Let me see if I can Google. What does this girl want? Cardi B. Sometimes they don't have to put in the lawsuit. They let the jury and the judge determine. Being sued. Let's see the dollar amount. Damn, she's been sued a bunch. Security guard. How much does she want? Oh, she filed her suit in 2020. Oh, Cardi B's taking a stand. They say today. Oh, wow. Oh, this is going to be great. Oh, we're going to be tuned in.
Who is designated as an expert witness in this case, who will testify in his opinion why he believes where the scar came from in his opinion, which he will testify. The evidence will show that he will testify.
Chat, if Cardi B's making, here's my thing, and I'm not giving out financial advice. If you're in a tough situation, you're paycheck to paycheck, we've all been there, right? But if you're making decent amount of money, and what I call decent amount of money, I would say, let me go with that. If you're making $80,000 a year, this is what I personally think. If you're making $80,000 a year, I think financial responsibility should be you spending and keeping your bills, including money to splurge, to around $40,000 to $50,000. You should be saving. Now, granted, obviously, we got to think about taxes and all that stuff. But if you're spending more than 70% of what you earn for that period, I think you're bad with money. For example, if you make, let's make it simple. If you make 1,000 in a week and you spend 800, you have a problem. So if we extrapolate on a big scale, if Cardi says her bills are $3 million a month, if I'm thinking that she has all these accountants and business people that are advising her, I would imagine, now granted, it's an entertainer. They don't pull in constant money every time because that's not how you get paid as an entertainer. But I would have to, let's sum it up per year. So $3 million per month is $36 million a year. I would imagine you got to be making at least $60 million for the year to really reason, or else someone should have a conversation with you to say downgrade some aspects of your lifestyle. Downgrade that. Do you get what I'm saying? Keep in mind, she's the one who said she's spending $3 million a year, or $3 million a month. So I'm trying to listen. If I tell you how much a month I spend, y'all might be like, "What?" Trust me, there's levels to this and scales to this. So I'm saying what to Cardi's budget and what she spends, but maybe she's making some other exorbitant amount. So I'm kind of going off of that. But just going off of that, just to get some numbers, let's say she makes, let's say $40 million a year, right? Let's say $40 million a year, which would definitely be spending too much if that's your bills. But even $40 million a year, or let's say $50 million because it's closer to what I could say, $50 million a year. Each of your week would be worth about $1 million. You should never want to sit in court unless you like it. You should never want to sit in court to avoid paying a chick that probably don't want millions, or you could settle with her realistically before all this happened. Remember, this happened in 2020. So you had 5 years to talk it out and settle. This does not affect your it's not like she if somebody sue you for SA, right? Or accuse you of doing some really weird shit that if you settle, it's going to look crazy. Yeah, don't settle. But if you beat somebody's ass, like nobody's going to look at you weird. Just give her $100,000 for the beatdown. You get what I'm saying? It's worth more than you wasting a week, which is valued at least at $1 million for you, just not to pay this chick, unless maybe you hate the chick that much. I don't think she hates her like that. I think you guys got the math. Anyway, let me play this. Then I'm going to play the security guard, and let's see if Cardi B takes a stand.
His expert opinion of being a plastic surgeon, that the scar came from a fingernail. The defendant, in addition to having long fingernails of 2 to 3 inches long on a regular basis, she also has different metal objects that are attached to the fingernails, which make it more dangerous if you're going to touch somebody's face or something.
I know exactly what she said to the lawyer. I didn't have anything metal on there. You know them little new nails that these chicks be getting? They got their nails and they got all type of markings on it. They put letters on it. They put all type of symbols and shit. Yeah.
You will hear from Imani Ellis. She will testify today about what happened to her. You will hear from the defendant, and then you will hear from Imani Ellis's grandmother, if we get to that point today, where she will explain.
Okay. So let's get to the, now this is security guard testifying.
Yeah.
Cardi B, or wow, that's Cardi B.
Were you talking to anybody at that time?
No.
You're sure?
Yes.
Were you entering the elevator?
I was, yes.
Did you actually go inside the elevator?
I did, yes.
And did Cardi B exit the elevator?
She did, yes.
Okay, and then what happened?
After she heard me say her name, she turned back around, and the first thing out of her mouth was, excuse my language, was, why the telling people that you seen me? At this time, I tried to calm her down and assure her that I didn't tell anyone that I seen her, and she was extremely upset.
And what did she tell you after that?
Then, excuse my language again, but she said, yes, the did, and then she put her finger in my face.
When she put her finger in your face, did she have long fingernails?
She did.
And approximately how long were her fingernails on the date when she put them in your face?
About 2 to 3 inches long.
When you have seen different pictures and videos of Cardi B, do you notice that she has long fingernails in those videos and photographs?
Yes.
When you saw her today, did you notice that her fingernails were very short?
Yes.
Does she usually wear them that short?
Objection. Waiting. also lacks foundation system.
Have you seen, we'll strike that. For how long, were you a fan of Cardi B before this incident?
I was.
What kind of fan were you?
I enjoyed her music. I was interested in going to a concert. I didn't have any problem with her.
Did you ever go to see her in concert?
I had tickets to go to see her, but I never went after this incident.
And when were you supposed to go see her in concert?
I'm not sure of the date. It was sometime in 2018.
And you're very close with your grandmother, Diane Schmidt, is that correct?
Correct.
How old is your grandmother?
She's 79.
Does she have information about this incident? Objection.
Assisting.
She lacks foundation.
Assisting.
Did you show your grandmother the scar on your left cheek after February 24th of 2018?
Overruled.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Did you show the cut on your left cheek after February 24th of 2018 to your grandmother, Diane Schmidt?
Yes.
And what year were you born?
1992.
And how many brothers and sisters do you have?
I'm the oldest of 5.
And
Okay. So that's her lawyer asking her. Let's go to Cardi's lawyer questioning her, and then we'll go check it out. Okay, now we can see her. So this is how she looks on the stand.
Allied pursuant to.
That's correct. I don't have access to this email anymore.
Okay. Let's talk about what you said on the email to your supervisor 2 days after the incident. If you look at page 1, it states that you were the daytime guard on duty at 8920 Wilshire Boulevard. You were on patrol, and I had, quote unquote, I had 2 cell phones, the work phone and also my personal phone. I had my cell phone to my ear. Do you see that language?
Okay.
Do you see the language?
I see it, yes.
And you wrote that 2 days after the incident?
I don't remember writing this, but if this is what you have.
Your Honor, I would ask that you read the whole sentence for completeness.
I don't have it in front of me, so I don't know that, but to the extent.
Well, that's the portion I intend to read. I mean, he's welcome to read whatever he wants to read.
Well, he's just reading half a sentence. It would be unfair for me.
Budget provided appropriately.
Yes, Your Honor. Let me actually include the declaration that came with it of Allied.
Sorry.
All right, let me skip through some shit.
Yeah.
To tell people that Cardi was a patient at a medical facility, correct?
I didn't tell anyone that I saw her.
Could you please answer the question, though? I can repeat it if you like.
Okay.
Isn't it true that as a security guard who'd been trained, as you said, and worked for 4 years, you knew it would have been improper for you to tell people that Cardi B was a patient at a medical facility?
Objection asked and answered.
Overruled. Answer.
It would be improper, but I did not tell anyone I saw her.
Move to strike everything after improper.
So maybe I just want you to answer the question, okay? Don't,
Oh.
if you can answer the question with a yes or no question, please answer yes or no.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you understood when you saw Cardi B that she thought that you were using your phone to tell people that she was at a medical facility, correct?
Yes.
And as I understand it, you denied that you used your cell phone to photograph or film Cardi B on that day. Is that correct?
That's not true. I didn't record her or film her.
The question was, is it correct that you deny using your personal cell phone to photograph or videotape Cardi B on February 24, 2018?
Yes.
Objection vacant of ambiguous.
Overruled.
And isn't it correct that you don't have that phone, right? You no longer have that phone. You disposed of it. You can't show us that phone and show that you don't have any photographs or videos of Cardi B. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
And rather than simply leaving, you stepped out of the elevator and told Cardi B to repeat what she said. Say it again. Isn't that what you did?
No.
Well, if we look at the incident report, quote, you see in the second paragraph, I stepped out of the elevator and asked her to repeat what she said to me, and so she did, angrily putting her finger in my face and yelling at me. Do you see that?
I stepped out of the elevator to clarify.
And you told her, say that again, right?
I don't remember saying say that again.
And your testimony was that you and Cardi B yelled at each other for 30 seconds?
She yelled at me. My voice was firm because I was upset.
Are you denying that you testified at your deposition and stated to Dr. McKenzie that you were yelling and cursing at Cardi B?
I'm not denying it. I just wanted to clarify.
And as you were yelling at Cardi B and people stepped out of her doctor's office, one of them stepped in between you to separate you two. Isn't that correct?
Yes, because she was in my face.
And the people came out of the woman's care doctor's office?
Employees came out from the 5th floor. I would assume they were from women's care.
And the woman who stepped in between you came out of that office?
I believe it was her, yes.
And you testified in your deposition that Cardi B spit at you after the other people came out of the doctor's office. Isn't that correct?
She did.
Move to strike as non-responsive. And if
Why don't you clarify the question? 'Cause
you testified at your deposition under oath, you said at that point that Cardi B spit at you after the other people came to intervene in the argument. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
And yet, in the report, you state I advised Cardi B that she needed to get her finger out of my face because I had not did anything to her. She then responded by spit at me, that's how it's spelled, and as a result, I became angry and yelled out to her to leave me alone and go on about her business. A few moments later, I remember a few people coming out and trying to separate us. That's what you said in your email, correct? 2 days after.
Correct.
And you stated in your incident report that Cardi B's nails were 3 inches long that day.
They were.
Your Honor, if we could ask for an admonition for the witness to answer the questions I'm asking.
Yeah, so please just focus on the question and answer the question that's asked.
Yes, Your Honor.
And the question is, you claimed in the incident report that Cardi's nails were 3 inches long that day. Isn't that true?
Yes.
And you testified at your deposition that Cardi pointed her fingernail at your face, right?
Yes.
And you state in your February 26, 2018 incident report, bear with me for a second, I marked a copy of this one and I didn't bring it with me. You state in your incident report that she scratched you on your nose, right?
Objection, misstates the testimony of the witness.
Well, it's contrary to the, sorry, Your Honor.
Overruled.
You testified in this trial, that Cardi B cut your cheek. Yet you stated in your email to your supervisor on February 26, 2018, that Cardi B cut you on the nose. Isn't that true?
Objection, misstates the testimony.
Overruled.
She put her finger in my face.
Okay, first of all, you have testified here today under oath that Cardi B, 7 years later, that Cardi B cut your cheek, your left cheek. Isn't that true?
Yes.
And you state in your report 2 days after the incident that she scratched your nose. Quote unquote, third paragraph, at this time, she continued to yell at me and point her 3-inch acrylic fingernails into my face, scratching my nose. See that?
Yes, but into my face.
You have to strike out everything after yes.
Over, motion's denied.
And you were clear at your deposition that you had changed the story to Cardi supposedly cutting your cheek, not her nose, right?
No.
You specifically testified to that, didn't you?
I'm not sure I know what you're asking.
At your deposition, you specifically testified that you were not scratched on your nose that day, you were scratched on your cheek.
She touched my nose, but she scratched my cheek.
Okay, but in the incident report, you state scratching my nose, right? You have to answer audibly.
Yes, I'm sorry.
And in fact, you demonstrated at the deposition how Cardi B supposedly was nose to nose with you, but jabbed your.
All right, man.
The
I
day of
want
the incident,
to hear her say it.
what your expectations are when you worked security at that building on February 24th of 2018?
Are you asking me what were my duties today?
What were your expectations?
Were very humble. I will fuck your shit up.
Oh shit.
That's when someone intervened. And plaintiff started taking swings at Cardi B. As Cardi B backed up and backed up, Cardi B was, facing someone, with all respect, who testified and admitted that she was 240, 250 pounds, wearing black military boots, hovering over Cardi, yelling and screaming at her and taking swings at her, trying to get to her beyond the person who was trying to intervene and trying to calm things down. Now, I don't take any pleasure in saying this, but there will be evidence that it was plaintiff who yelled, "I will fuck your shit up." That's when someone intervened and dragged plaintiff to an elevator and said, "You have to leave. You have to leave." You will hear Cardi's testimony that she both feared for her unborn baby, this was her first pregnancy, and a very large woman was advancing towards her, and she was utterly confused that a security guard would be her attacker. Importantly, plaintiff has repeatedly changed her story over the last 7 years. You will hear evidence that, under oath, she stated in what is called discovery, Cardi beat her about the head and body. Under oath, she said that. You will hear evidence that plaintiff stated, Cardi scratched plaintiff's nose. You will hear evidence that the story then changed, that Cardi instead scratched plaintiff's cheek, and you will hear evidence that plaintiff also said Cardi never touched her. That is the evidence that you will hear. And to put it mildly, we expect the evidence will establish that plaintiff is not telling the truth. Now, there's been this allegation that that Cardi got plaintiff fired. But we expect...
Objection, Your Honor. We'll discuss this issue.
Sustained claims were withdrawn.
I apologize.
The claim was withdrawn.
Oh. Well, that's nice. I didn't know that. So there is no...
All right, I ain't trying to watch all this shit. Let me just try to... I'm going to look for the clips. Yeah, somebody was telling me that this is a civil case. This ain't criminal. Let me see if I can get some clips. Sorry, y'all. It would have been from yesterday. Today's one. This is how she showed up today. So I guess new hairstyle every day. She must want to be in court. How come we never see Beyonce in court or like Rihanna, nothing like that? I don't even see Nicki in court. Let's see.
One last question, Your Honor. Ms. Almanzar is professionally known as Cardi B and Cardi. In the discovery that's been done, she's been consistently referred to as Cardi or Cardi B. We would like to continue that and refer to her during the trial as Cardi.
I want her to be called her real name. Cardi B is not the real name. I object.
I don't really have an issue with it being referenced as Cardi B or Cardi.
I could see why opposing counsel don't want to call her Cardi, because the jury is. I think this is a jury trial. It could be just a judge, but that could kind of gain some sympathy from people, right? Oh, Cardi, as opposed to Belmanzar Al. I forgot what her full name is. Belcardi Almanzar. That's her full name, I think.
At the building, and Cardi B exited the elevator on February 24th, 2018. What were the words that she used that were so hurtful?
She used a lot of words, and again, excuse my language, but she was like, bitch, that's why I'm gonna beat your ass. I'm gonna get you fired. That's why you do security. Ah, that's why you do security. Ah, she was sticking her tongue out. She was flailing her arms up and down. She was jumping up and down. Body shaming me. I mean, racial slurs, just a lot.
And did she spit on you?
She did.
Did her spit actually land on your body?
It did.
Why did you exit the elevator to speak with her after she said what she said?
I wanted to clarify the misunderstanding.
Okay, I don't think there's any more to. We could look in at the live trial to see what's going on. Cardi hasn't taken a stand.
Employed her. That
These are people that probably worked with her, with the woman.
Position, they would be allowed to perform that. But however, they would not be allowed.
Practitioner or physician's assistant can. Are you required to be a board certified plastic surgeon to perform microneedling?
What kind of microneedling?
Do you recall testifying at your deposition that a nurse practitioner or physician's assistant can perform medical microneedling, the type of procedure that you performed in this instance?
Under certain circumstances and under the supervision of a physician, they would be allowed to perform that. But however, they would not be allowed to perform a surgery independently. So I don't want to
Offer an opinion as to the approximate age on the scar on her left cheek.
It's impossible to know because after roughly a year, the scar is mature. So it really wouldn't change very much. So you can't tell the age of the scar.
You used the term medical necessity, or I think it was asked during a question. What is your definition of medical necessity?
Okay, I don't think this is a jury trial then. When the judge start asking questions like this, I don't think this might not be a jury. It might just be a judge. This judge right here might be ruling on everything. Yeah, because usually the judge shut the fuck up and just kind of, he's like almost a peacekeeper and order keeper. But when he's trying to get certain clarification is because he has to make a ruling at some point. Wait, let me confirm that, by the way. Cardi B, civil trial, security guard, jury. Is there a jury? I don't think there's a jury. It don't seem like it. I haven't. Let's see. Is this a jury trial? Let's see. Yeah, I don't know if it is. Yeah, I'm thinking it's not, though. I don't think there's a jury. when the judge is so invested in getting the details of a case, like, oh, you said this, what does it mean? It seems like the judge. And by the way, a plaintiff could request that there is no jury, if you don't know, in a civil case. Yeah, I'm thinking there's no jury.
Something is, if the patient is likely to derive a benefit from a procedure, then you could say there is medical necessity, if they're likely to derive a benefit from it.
Generally, can a scar form without breaking the skin?
Yes, a scar can form by...
Or maybe there is a jury. But why the fuck is... He's looking over here to where I would imagine a jury. What the fuck? But the judge is asking the question. I don't know. Anyway, somebody called me this morning, and
Cardi B is currently in court right now for allegedly saying rude things to this lady and scratching her on the face. What Axe said is 100% true. Cardi should just gave this lady $75K and call it a day, bro. Like, now you're gonna have to spend weeks in court. Every day Cardi goes to court, she has a new look. Cardi said she spends $3 million a month. On what? I don't know. It might be real estate, it might be I don't know what, but I'm hoping she makes. You spend $3 million a month, I hope she at least make 4 back. So, hey. And by 4, I mean 4 million in profit, so 7 million a month in profit. But hey, it's your boy Big Act News. Very, very crazy. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think is gonna happen in this case.